Welcome back. Okay, later. I'll be better tomorrow, that's right. She had a cold. Bye-bye. Wait, Mion. What do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck. Hey, you're late, Mayabara-kun. How long does it take you to wash your face? Don't judge me. It was the teacher. I was taking so long she came out to get me. Ah, I'm sorry. I was just speaking to Mion. I turned around, but Mion had crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it and was now standing at the gate. Come, back to your studies. Quickly now. The teacher was being insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time and Mion was nowhere in sight. Ding-a-ling. Keiichi, you haven't seemed well all day. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. It's clearly because he had far too much fun yesterday. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to be told that by the one who got lost. Again, it makes sense, but it's such a weird way to phrase that. Your face was all red and you were nearly crying. Ah ha 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 ha. Satoko-chan was so cute last night. How? My friends did their best to try to cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Look at that face. How could that face not lighten your mood? Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? These thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day. Bye, Keiichi-kun. I'll see you tomorrow. By the time I realized it, I was in front of my own house. Mi-chan had a cold, right? Could you have a cold too, Keiichi-kun? Could you? Huh? I'm fine. I may look scrawny, but I've never missed school because of a cold. Both you and Mi-chan didn't look so good today, though. Thanks for worrying about me. I'm fine. Idiots don't catch colds, remember? I've always loved that saying. Nena smiled and then waved to me and left. Whew. With my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mum called out to me. What? Keiichi? I'm sorry, but could you go to the library and return a few books for me? Am I your slave? Do you not have your own feet to carry yourself to the library to return your own books? Hello? Huh? I don't feel like it. Same, return your own books. Your dad and I have to wait inside the house for a phone call right now, so we can't leave. I need to return them today. Could you please do it? Sheesh. Did it have to do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that up. I guess so, but I don't know where the library is. Oh, you don't? It's a little bit past Okinomiya Station. Just then the phone rang. My parents' faces immediately turned grim. Uh-oh. Mum snatched up the receiver. Hello? Mayabara speaking. I'm sorry? Yes, he's right here. Then she thrust the receiver at my face. Hello? It's for you, Keiichi. Don't take too long, okay? I tried to ask who it was from, but asking the person on the phone directly would be faster. Hello? Ah, this is Sonozaki. Well, the younger one. Hello. Do you have time to talk right now? It was Shion. The older sister had a hangover today, but the younger one made no reference to it. Shion. I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion. What? Mion had a hangover? Ah ha 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 ha, that's so like her. She laughed warmly, but Mum glared at me, silently telling me to finish up. Whoops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need? There's something I wanted to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that. She sounded a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Now I was interested. Then how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that'd be great. You mean the public library near the station? Yes, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. Okay, then you know where I usually meet up with Mion? At that intersection where the small path from the Sonozaki house splits. Okay, Chan, did I not tell you? I don't live at the main house. I live in Okinomiya. If we could meet by the ticket machines at Okinomiya Station, that'd be great. Main house. Living in Okinomiya. Now that she mentioned it, it's always seemed like the Sonozaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Also, now that she mentioned it, Nana said she'd never met the younger sister, despite going over to play sometimes. Let's meet at the station then. I'll go there right away. Bye. I set the receiver down and Mum immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels. Mum had her own hobbies. How dare she have hobbies? Thank you, Keiichi. Be back by nightfall. Got it. Okay, I'm going. I supposed I'd change my clothes and grab my bike key. I supposed. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process. I don't know why that sentence bothers me so much, but it's just such an unnatural way to convey that information. What? Yes. Wow. Mion never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble. Shion seemed a little unsteady too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she? You were drinking last night too, weren't you? Don't try and hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day in the first place. I'm smarter than Mion after all. The shade. Hey. I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. I mean, it is though. You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. We are going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. My mum had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's really close by. As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. If it was this easy to find, then I guess I didn't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around a bend and the building was right there. Shishibone Public Library. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. The first floor was actually a government office, so the library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mildewy smell unique to old paper. And your mom! Ha 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 ha! I guess every library is basically the same. If there was one difference, it was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory. Hello, I have books I'd like to return. The librarian went through the process of checking them in and then returned my mum's library card. Shion was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type who went to libraries very often. Indeed. Sorry for the wait. I'm all done. Libraries sure are nice and cool, aren't they? I want to work in a library one day. Don't know whether to call that boring or dependable. Okay. It's a pretty small dream compared to your sister. What's wrong with working in a library? Libraries are cool. I always wanted to work in one. Mion would definitely want to be a hard-working employee for an international trading company, or some other crazy job that involved her running all around the world. Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming. Well, we need to keep our differences dear to us. What? We're not copies. We are two different people called Shion and Mion. Twins have a lot to think about, huh? Still, it sounds like fun. I don't have any brothers, so there's just me and my parents at my house. It can get a little uncomfortable. It's the same for me. I don't live with Mion after all. Oh right, she said something like that, didn't she? Why does he forget so quickly? Why though? literally, why though? Sisters living apart is unusual. Is it though? Is it really? I don't think it's that strange. We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continuing the conversation. Yes. Mion lives at the main house and I live in Okinomiya. What do you mean by main house? You make it sound like you're nobility. Maybe I am, Keiichi. It's just the main house. The Sonozaki family's main house. Mion's the successor, so she lives with Nana and apparently studies all sorts of things as preparation to be the head of the family. Honestly, that sounds terrible. I would hate that so much. Mion, the head of the family? It kind of fit her personality, but kind of didn't too. Kei-chan, you just moved here, right? This will sound like I'm boasting, but we of the Sonozaki family are kind of... How do I pronounce that? People, how do I pronounce this word? I can't around here. Personages? People, how is that word said? I've read it before, I've never heard it out loud. Huh? Seriously? That word, didn't really match the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginnings of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide area. Yes, as we all do. The Sonozaki house is a foundation under which the entire family cooperates. Though the current family head, Grandma, was the one who built it. The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. Ina. They were like a huge living company. Indeed. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives' ventures succeed, one after another, using large amounts of money. If you ever go through a walk through Okinomiya, pay attention to the signboards and stuff. There's a ton of shops that are managed by members of the Sonozaki family. Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean your relatives operate Angel Mort too? Even what few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonozaki family. Hello? Why is that sentence so weird? It was definitely surprising. The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. There's so many weirdly phrased things in this. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry either have the last name Sonozaki or are their relatives. There are Sonozakis in the City Council and the Prefectural Assembly too, since they have the Okinomiya area giving them strong electoral support. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Her relatives operate shops in downtown Okinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. What does that even mean? Strong in finance. That's such a silly way of phrasing that. Come on. And on top of that, a lot of those are in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives. And there are even people elected to local offices. Yes, that's literally what she just said. So then, the Sonozaki family, it's pretty famous in this area. Why are we repeating the same things? Stop. Yes, it's crazy. All of a sudden, a cigarette-smoking, overweight old man, like your mom, interrupted our conversation. Wait, I know this guy. Hello, good afternoon. Are you on a date today? Ah, what I would give to be young again. What? Yes. If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us? Oishi-san. That was it. He was Oishi-san, a police officer. I thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much. No, I apologize. I heard a familiar voice, so I came over to see. Oishi-san laughed coarsely, not showing any sign of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion. Mayabara-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. I turned around to look at Shion and plead for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. This is the aspect of the novel that I really dislike. The whole, I've said this repeatedly, just like the novel, but the whole harem business is really not for me. They could edit that entirely, remove all of it, and the story would be superior for it. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock. I'm sorry, Kei-chan. I really need to get to my job. Huh? Oh, did you? Wait, what? Wait, didn't Shion have something to talk about today? Now this weird man is here, though. Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right? Yeah, probably okay. Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye. Shion left so fast she was practically running. Oishi-san was waving at me with a grin. I felt like I'd been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work. You're quite the big shot, being so close to the Sonozaki daughters. Maybe I should rethink how I talk to you too. Oishi-san put a coin into a vending machine as he said something a bit appalling. Is iced tea okay with you? Do you want milk in it? How appalling. Huh? Oh no, I'll put some in then, alright? Here you are. He handed me a cup of tea, filled to the brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was Oishi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in conversation about all sorts of dumb things. When I thought back to how I talked with Shion, this seemed like a total disaster. Am I the only one who just at moments, frequent moments throughout this novel feels like they're just word salading? Just toss all the words together. It's a salad. Some of it makes sense. Others are just words that are decorating the page. I don't know, it's just... Mayabara-san, how much do you know about Sonozaki-san? Other than what I heard just now, nothing. Until then, I hadn't known anything about either Mion or Shion other than the fact they were interesting. I really did only just learn. See, why is there so many words in that? This story needs editing. A lot of editing. Why does it have to be padded so much? Remove the unnecessary words, please. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family. The Sonozakis are a Yakuza group with this entire region under their thumb. Yakuza queens! Plus, her father is a high-ranked executive in the XX Yakuza Association. Did you know that? My Yakuza queens? What? An executive? Have you ever seen where Shion-san lives? It's the very picture of a gang boss's house, protected by high walls, barbed wire fence, and security cameras. Nice. If you have the chance, you should go and visit her. She'd mentioned Mion being a successor, but to a Yakuza group? My Yakuza queen? No. Not at all, not at all. A boring old Yakuza group isn't the only thing Mion Sonozaki-san will inherit. She's inheriting the Sonozaki family itself. I'll leave it to you to mull over what exactly that means. Oishi-san had spoken lightly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable. If Mion-san wanted to, she could kill someone in the middle of the street and still cover it up. Not only would witnesses not show up, but she'd put pressure on the police too. Mion would never kill someone. No, she wouldn't. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Your name, it was Oishi-san, right? Yes, that's right. Then, Oishi-san, whatever family Mion comes from, it doesn't change the fact that she's the best friend I could ever have, and I'm proud of that. I don't appreciate people speaking ill of her. Only I may do that. I let my quiet anger show through in my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I could never seem to tell what he's thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect. Then let me be frank. If Mion-san was suspected of a handful of incidents, what would you think? Suspected? Incidents? You can't just say terrible stuff like that on a whim. Then it would be a misunderstanding, of course. Mion may say some dangerous things, but she's not the kind of person who would do something so awful. Mayabara-san, keep your voice down. We're in a library. Told. Oishi-san shushed me, but in a state of heightened excitement as I was, I wouldn't be calmed so easily. Please calm down. As I said before, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of power in this region, for better or worse. So if anything happens, they would immediately be suspect. I'd appreciate it if you understood that. Well, I know what Oishi-san is trying to say. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Sonozaki family is huge and controls everything from Hinamizawa to Okinomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is its successor, who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, that's all. That's the only reason they're suspecting her. I'm just doing my job here. Not to doubt Mion-san of anything, but to clear up suspicions surrounding her. Please think of it like that. He could talk a dog out of a meat truck. What? I can't say I've ever heard that one before. He was the definition of a shrewd, unfair adult. What does unfair have to do with anything? What? Yes. At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence I'd met him. Mayabara is the slowest person on the field. Oishi-san, do you need something from me? Yes, I do. Keiichi Mayabara-san. He answered in an absent tone of voice. Mion's being suspected of something, and you came to hear from a friend of hers. Me. Is that it? No, that isn't it. I didn't come to talk to a friend of Mion Sonozaki-san. I came here to talk to Keiichi Mayabara-san. It would probably have bothered you had I visited your house. To me? What do the police want with me? Having realized this faked coincidental meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul. You don't need to be so tense. Calm down and just answer a few questions. I'm sorry, but if you tell me to calm down, I am immediately not calmed down. Am I being questioned? Let's call it a chat with a guy you happen to run into. Oishi-san freely suggested that I relax. That said, behind his eyes was a light, which I could only see sometimes, that was sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me to an interrogation room or something. Probably not, but you know. That was an undoubtedly unpleasant thought. You had a roaring good time at the Watanagashi festival last night, didn't you? Don't beat around the bush, please. I can't do small talk right now. Last night during the festival. Did you see Jiro Tomitake-san and Mio Takano-san? Dun dun dun. Gulp. I could plainly feel myself give a start. Where did I put those pictures? Oh, here they are. He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look. Well, who knows? I might have seen them around. I don't remember. I was asked the same question for a second time today. I gave the same answer for the second time too. Your memories are blurry. You couldn't have possibly been drinking or anything. Here too I got the same answer as I had from Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me the same thing Mion did? The dark feelings I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into a sacred ritual storehouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it. I'll ask you again. Did you see Jiro Tomitake-san and Mio Takano-san at the festival last night? Oh, he angry. Look at his face. His tone was soft, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared. That was exactly how I felt. Even if you repeat the question, my answer won't change. I'm losing my voice. I don't really remember. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit I had. I see. I just thought that maybe I'd get a different answer if I asked a second time. I'm too scared to look Oishi-san in the eyes. I'll change the question. Come, Maebara-san. Relax. I am anything but relaxed. Oishi-san grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them, as if trying to give me a massage. Excuse me, sir. Personal space. It mostly just hurt, though. Still, why would he ask the same things as Mion? If he's asking the same things, then the next question must be... On the same night of the festival, did you see Shion Sonozaki-san? Clatter, clatter, clatter. I wondered what that sound was, and when I looked down, it was the unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hands. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put the remaining ice in my mouth and crunched down on it. Sorry, I may have seen her, but, well, you know, she looks just like Mion. I might have just mistaken the two. No, but that can't be. Suddenly Oishi-san grabbed both my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in the headlights. I want to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare. Mion-san and Shion-san wear completely different clothing. You wouldn't mistake the two so easily, I would think. Maebara-san? His voice was harsh. Harsh, the same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulders, I got even more scared. What? How is he supposed to feel your heartbeat through his hands on your shoulders? Why are Mion and Oishi-san both asking about last night? Was sneaking into that storehouse so bad? Ugh. I shouldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Tomitake-san casually said to check it out too, so... Even Shion, if she hadn't encouraged me... No, I understood. I was the one most at fault here. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone into the forbidden storehouse. Wow, he's actually taking responsibility for once. Oishi-san, I think that's our cue to get out of here. A young man wearing a suit came into the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Oishi-san's subordinate. Oh, so it is. Closing time already. I hadn't realized it until he said something. The jingle, an announcement telling patrons the library had closed, had started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed, that I couldn't even hear it. Well then, Maebara-kun, we're out of time, so allow me to take my leave. I'd like to talk with you more about this at your leisure, When we have more time. This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would be too soon. Oishi-san followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind him. However, he spun back around. Oh right, Maebara-san. What is it? Those 2 questions I asked you before. You don't remember well enough to answer either of them, correct? Right. Just so you know, you saw them all yesterday. You were walking along, the 4 of you, having quite a pleasant time. Ho ho! Busted! Near the stone steps. I saw you with my own eyes. Oh, he's so busted. Oh, I caught my breath and my heart seemed like it was about to stop. Oh, he's so busted. That's great. What a detestable person. He knew and he was testing me. That's great. All right, we're actually going to end this episode here. There was a lot of waffling again, a lot of word salading, but we are moving on. We have our suspects of who were demoned away and who disappeared and was killed and etc. etc. Anyway, come back next week. Let's find out more of what's going on. I'll see you guys then. See ya.